Going live.
Whoops.
The power of editing for the podcast people. Hello and welcome to chapter 147 of the DC Alliance podcast. With me, as always, is Joe. Joe, how you doing today?
That is just par for the course for me anymore. I just happen to be at the right place at the wrong time. I don't know. I'm doing pretty good, Travis. It's December. I am only working like, I don't know, 15 days out of the month. Actually, not even that, because I got most of the all Wednesdays off. But yeah, like I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good as well, Joe. I just finished up everything with school now. I only have finals next week for this second last semester of accounting, so that's fine. Pretty sure I would pass everything if I got zeros in the finals. I think I set myself up pretty good going into that.
You
So
should.
yeah, can't complain there. So yeah, I'm just gonna study some this week, just to be a little bit extra prepared going into next week. Before study the night before for the exams, but I'll study a week before just to be up on them. Besides that, pretty good. Got a lot of time off, and I'm glad you mentioned you're off Wednesdays because I think we're going to plan to record something for the
I think
patrons.
so. I think we're gonna have some stuff banked and ready for later.
Yeah, I'm excited to drop it, and I dropped something last week on Patreon as well. So yeah, really enjoyed that. We'll get into all that in a little bit. First, we have a jam-packed episode tonight,
Yeah.
Joe. We have obviously trailers galore from CCXP.
Trailers galore.
Wait, wait, no, nothing. No, we got nothing.
Oh,
Oh God. We have a panel from Blue Beetle. I'm excited to talk about some of the stuff we got from that. We have a pretty cool poster, which is in our background right now if you're watching on YouTube, and we have some good episodes of DC TV to discuss.
I think we're gonna have a good episode tonight.
Potentially multiple people dead if you talk about the two episodes. I'm really interested to see what you think about that, because that's my first thought. So we'll get into all that, but first, obviously, we have to do network plugs. We are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance with 8 shows in total. On Mondays is Ranger Alliance, and that rotates bi-weekly with Slice of Film. On Tuesdays is DC Alliance. On Wednesdays is the Animation Nation podcast. On Thursdays is Star Wars Alliance. On Fridays is Marvel Alliance. On Saturdays, bi-weekly, as we walk through the multiverse. On Sundays, monthly, is World's Finest True Believers. DC Alliance goes live on the Geekverse YouTube channel Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Star Wars Alliance goes live on the Geekverse YouTube channel Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and Marvel Alliance goes live Thursdays at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Time. All three of those shows also have their own podcast feeds. Search Marvel Alliance, DC Alliance, or Star Wars Alliance if you just want Marvel content, DC content, or Star Wars content. But if you want all 8 shows on GWA Podcast Network, stay subscribed to GWA in your podcast app of choice. We also have a Patreon, 2 tiers, a $1 tier, and a $5 tier. The $1 tier is basically tip jar, like what we're doing. You want to help us out any way you can. And the $5 tier is where you get your extras. You get your ad-free episodes, early access episodes, and Patreon exclusive episodes. I posted early access to Animation Nation movie review I did with Nick Zednick from the Vigilante 1939 podcast. So check that out. It was Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. It was a great discussion. So patrons, that's there. Myself and Joe, we just talked about it. We put out Swamp Thing a couple weeks ago. We're getting together to talk about a couple more DC movies, so that'll be good. We're going to split those up, of course, but it's going to be a fun discussion. Yay for Wednesdays. Joe has his multiverse minutes as well. We were talking off air about something that I'm excited for you guys to check out when it happens. So further down the road, of course.
Be on look at that. Look out for that in the next year.
Yes, so that's great. And we also have the Marvel Alliance boys doing their MCU rewatch. We can watch this all day. So check them out as they go through the MCU. We have Clay doing his watch this for the first time. Right now he's on Game of Thrones. And we have Katie going through Star Wars comics with her husband, Matt. So that's all the Patreon stuff we have. We thank everyone that's a patron. But if you can't, if you can take a quick 30 to 60 seconds to rate and review the podcast on your podcast app of choice, that's always greatly appreciated. It's helped us be found out on the algorithm. That's always a great thing. Joe, I think I got through everything here.
I think so. A very timid voice.
Yeah, just lowering the volume. We have guests upstairs, so
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay,
trying to
you're being courteous. Gotcha.
be courteous and not boisterous with my voice, which is way it normally goes.
You know, it's
So
probably a good thing you've got the headphones in, so when I push this button, they won't hear it.
yes, no one will hear that.
I'm not gonna push the button. Not gonna push the button this time.
I did enjoy the first button push, so there's either
I thought I like froze you for a second.
no, there will always be a
It actually
smile on
got
my
me for a
face.
minute,
So yeah, we have a jam-packed episode. We were going to talk about CCXP right CCXP 22, but it wasn't what we thought it was going to be. That
yeah.
is for certain. We didn't get any trailers, which was a little sad, especially seeing what we got from Marvel side of things.
Yeah.
With
Marvel knows what they're doing. DC's still kind of building. And,
especially with these.
I would say it's not a bad thing we didn't get trailers. Yes, I know we predicted we might get like 2 trailers at least, and yes, we got 0. But what we did get, I mean, is encouraging.
Yes, because we did get a Blue Beetle panel, which is pretty interesting. It was a surprise panel. There wasn't a lot that came out about the film from it. We did get confirmation that Jenny Cord is in the film and not Ted Cord, and Jenny Cord will be played by Bruna Marquezine. Sorry. I don't know any of her previous work, but shout out to WB Pictures Brazil for confirming this by putting it on screen as who she's supposed to play. I don't think that was supposed to happen. What did you think about there not being Ted Cord in this film and going with Jenny Cord instead, possibly his daughter? I know that there's no comic precedent for that, but Shazam's already went out that way of not following comics. We just talked about that last week.
Which honestly, having something new, I'm okay with. Which is, I think I said it. I can't recall, but I'm pretty sure I said it with Shazam having new characters and building the universe out versus even using established characters and then people being upset because they weren't used either to their full potential or how they wanted. So
they want it usually.
So you're getting these new characters, and okay, cool. So no Ted Cord. That doesn't mean we won't get him in the future.
Yes,
it doesn't. Maybe there's a reason we don't have a Ted Cord on this.
We have a theory about that in a little bit, but first we got to talk about the poster.
Well, what do you think about it, though? Before we go to the poster, what do you think about having?
I kind of wish Ted Cord was in it, but you do open up the possibility going forward, as that could be something that you explore down the line with this character. And this one is more focused on Jaime, which I'm not complaining about.
Well, so here's a thought that just occurred to me. Ted Cord's not going to be in it. What if they actually do a history lesson and we get Ted Cord and the first one? I can't remember the first one. Like we get like in a history lesson something with those two. Like Jaime gets the Beetle attached to him, and then it just flashed through his head what happened previous and where the Scarab has been, where the Beetle has been all this time.
That is a possibility. I didn't think about that, but that is definitely a possibility. Especially, we'll talk about it in just a little bit. But before that, like I said, was our background. But there was a pretty cool Blue Beetle poster that pretty much was universally praised on my Twitter timeline.
Yeah, actually, we had friends over this weekend, and one of them, my friend Evan, he brought up the fact that he saw this and he's like, this looks really cool. Like, I know it's just a poster. I know this is it, but like, what's him being a non, comic book person, being the general audience, he was asking me questions about it. He was interested. So whatever they're doing, it's good. They're getting in the people, they're reaching the people they're trying to reach.
I agree, Joe. Kyle Erking says, hello, everyone. Hi, Kyle. How do you think Blue Beetle will perform compared to Black Adam? I think the trailers are going to have to be really good, aligned with word of mouth.
Agreed.
I will agree that it needs to step up. There'll be a few movies before that, Kyle, that I think will determine how well this film does. I think Shazam and Flash need to do well for this.
I also think Shazam will do well. With Shazam having the new characters, like we just talked about, that will, determine that path of non-established versus established.
Also building hype with the DC, like you.
I
So
mean,
if that
yeah,
like
even though
those
Black
films are
Adam,
going good.
and we'll talk about it later, maybe. But even though Black Adam hasn't done great at the box office, like that was hyped to high hell for the last like year and a half.
Yes, it was, especially by the rap, but there was a lot of schedule shifting as well. But
Correct. I felt hurt.
I think that the trailer's going to have to be good. I think that this film is going to be good though because it's going to be targeting a whole different demographic that
Mhm.
DC hasn't, and the main star of the film is universally liked from the test screenings anyway, like his performance. So I think there's a lot here. I think there's sequels down the road as well for
And
this.
I also think that this is being a Spanish led hero. Like this will do what Black Panther did for the Black community. You know,
Yes,
it's a
yes.
character that no one, that, like somebody of Spanish ethnicity can go, or even Mexican ethnicity can go and be like, "That's me on screen. That's me in a starring role." You know?
Yes, and Al in the game says Variety, Black Adam is projected to lose 50 to 100 million theatrical
Yeah,
run. That is the difference in the budget between that and Shazam. So I think that is where you lose the way there because I think that Blue Beetle will not be costing nearly as much as Black Adam. I think if Black Adam kind of went off the rails where you're just starting this character, it kind of went too much in the budget perspective
well,
there.
and also getting big names like they did.
Yeah, that
Let's
wasn't
be
cheap
honest.
as well. So you're
Yeah.
right, Joe. So yeah, that we also have Daniel RPK saying, because that's why I wanted to hold you for a second, that
Yeah.
Ted Cord is alive, but he is missing. It's not revealed by the end of the film where he is. And also, similar to Young Justice, the Scarab has a voice, and you will hear it, and Jaime will argue throughout the movie with it.
Good. And
So
that's
that
what it should be. Every iteration of Jaime Blue Beetle I've ever seen, he is arguing with the Scarab every single minute, every single day. So yes, I'm happy for this.
And Kyle says, I think Blue Beetle's in a similar situation with Black Adam, featuring a character that non-comic readers don't know. The disadvantage for Blue Beetle is that Zolo isn't a household name yet. No, but is targeting a whole different demographic that hasn't had a representation in the superhero world. So I think that
You
might
say,
offset that.
Kyle, you say Shiloh isn't a household name, but I mean, he got a name for himself with Cobra Kai. Like
Yeah, that's how
that
he got
show
this
has been
role too.
amazing. I mean, I've only seen the first season, but still, that show's been amazing.
Well,
Uh,
Netflix big appeal, so
correct.
but I also think that this will be marketed a little differently. I think that DC might have more funds available to it to market in
I think
the
so.
new year because of all the
Yeah,
rearranging of the finances that it's been doing. So, Kyle, I think there's going to be a different marketing strategy with this film as well.
they
So,
have to shift their.
and personally, I'm just hoping it's going to be really good. I have a good feeling about this film and also 4 films in 2023. As long as they don't put out a teaser trailer, like building up the 4 films for the year, I think we'll be fine. So uh, we have a theory that was sent to us from Chris Balga, host of Marvel Alliance and World's Finest True Believers podcast on GUA Network. He said, for Blue Beetle 2, since I'm assuming you'll be talking about it tomorrow on DCA, Blue Beetle 2 could be about Booster Gold meeting Jaime and going on a team up adventure to find Ted Cord. What are your thoughts on this, Joe?
I'd be down for that. I would love to just have a Blue Beetle, Blue and Gold movie by itself, and that's why Ted Cord is missing. But you know, give me Booster Gold. I'm all here for it.
And on the game says Blue Beetle has a rumored budget of 90 million. See, that is
So,
different than,
yeah,
and even if it costs a bit more for the VFX and post, you're not getting to what Black Adam hit,
yeah.
which
Let's say it costs 100 million. All right, cool. So they have to make what 200 million to break even.
even 3 will say, even if we're doing bigger estimates, 3 million, that 300
That should
million, that should,
be a walk in the park in theory.
yes, in theory. So, yeah, that's great news there. And for Chris's stats, I really think that could be a possibility, especially with James Gunn. I really could see him going that direction to introduce Booster Gold, and you can bring back Ted Cord. Ted Cord doesn't have to become Blue Beetle. Jaime is the Blue Beetle and the new and improved, but
Like,
still,
in the New
he could
52,
be a
no,
mentor.
in the Rebirth Blue Beetle, New 52, in a newer iteration of Blue Beetle comics.
Mm.
I can't remember which one. Everything's jumbling together. Probably New 52. But Ted Cord was a mentor. Like he
That's
was
what he
there.
thinks. He could.
He never had. I mean, he had the Scarab and he was Blue Beetle at a time, but then he gave it up to be a mentor to Jaime. He's like, all right, I see the path. I can't do this anymore. Jaime got the thing because of Infinite Crisis, but that's a whole different monster. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I think it's an interesting fact, Chris, that I can see them going that route, especially like I said, with James Gunn at the helm now. I don't think anything like Booster Gold is off the table
No,
like it probably would
he's
have once been.
grabbing the most obscure characters and making them popular with the
Yes, he's
people.
going to. Well, he can use who he wants. There's no holds barred anymore for him.
Yeah,
So really excited. And we have just a couple things coming out with the Flash. We just got breaking news that the Flash is going to move up a week and will release on June 16th of
mhm,
2023. So things aren't getting pushed back, Joe. Things are getting moved up. And I
that's
could see
good.
this getting moved up a couple more weeks away from Indiana Jones just to give it a bit more
Yeah, but like
breathing
we
room.
were sharing it in the group chat in the GUA chat, and I didn't realize how stacked June already is. I mean, you've
Hmm.
got Transformers, the Beast. Oh crap, what's it called? The Beast Wars movie. There you
Yeah.
go.
Beast
Rise of
Wars.
the Beast.
Yep.
You've got Across the Spider Verse, like the second Spider Verse movie. You got the Flash. You've got Pixar's Elementals, Indiana Jones. Like that's. I mean, this is my birthday month. I'm gonna have a good month. I'm just saying.
I could see the Flash moving up even a little bit more, maybe into May. You could get that May
I
26th.
don't- Considering what my neighbor there, he's not gonna be done until March.
Yeah.
So you really can't move it up any. I mean, if you want to have the turnaround,
Could you get the
for
line
one,
weekend in
sure.
May? Could you get the line weekend in May?
Yeah, but with Transformers right there, like it's gonna be tricky. Like
It's gonna be
I can
tricky
see
to.
Transformers moving up to that, and then maybe Flash, like Spider Verse moves up, Flash moves up again. Like I don't see it moving out of June though. I think June is gonna be it's when it gets released.
And that's been part of DC's problem as well, is positioning their movies. Like I'll give them credit for where they put Aquaman and they did it international first and then US.
Yeah,
But Shazam was placed poorly between Captain
but yeah,
Marvel and
Shazam still
Endgame.
did good though.
Did good, but it could have
It
probably
could
got to
yeah,
4 or 5 if it was positioned to a place where it could have had 4 or 5
yeah.
week run. And you also have Black Adam. I think if Black Adam was a summer movie, I think you might get to at least it breaking even. I really think where it was like uh, Black Black Panther 2 kind of forever took out every bit of the sales out
Oh,
of that
100%.
film. So I just think that like even moving it back a couple weeks earlier than that might have been helpful to break the bottom line. So I think that they really need to work on scheduling their films and looking and
Well, and
being
also
being open to move them if there's too much like around you to like take away from your market share. You got to be smart when it comes to these
100%.
films.
But the problem is we're having a ton of good-looking films come out, and
Yeah,
you want to get that summer market because that's when people go see the movies. They want these action popcorn flicks.
yeah.
But when you're having one every single week, like it doesn't matter where you move it. Something's going to beat it the following week.
Look,
You have to have a good enough movie and present a good enough movie to draw people in to keep the interest. You know,
yes.
and
Which I think, but still,
100%.
it's hard for a film to get a second or third watch over something cool new coming out for a first
Again,
watch.
especially during the summer, like this.
Yeah.
This was originally coming out the week before Indiana Jones. There was no way it was gonna beat that.
On the game, I think that there could have been some more wiggle room if it was like if it had a couple extra weeks. I think it could have made a bit more money. I think we might be
I mean,
a little bit.
the fact that it's still in theaters, like it's
Yeah,
still in theaters here in Indiana, so it's not it's not that people don't want. Well, yeah,
it
okay,
is.
people have
It-
already seen it, or they
yeah,
don't want to see it anymore. Like, yeah, it definitely isn't the greatest. The
yeah.
fact
It's
that
just
it's been in there and
it
like
sucks that lost money, but I do think that scheduling is
here,
not one of DC's has not been one of DC's assets.
let me
WWE.
just put it this way: I saw Black Adam once, just before our review. I've seen Black Panther Wakanda Forever 3 times already.
Oh yeah, I've seen it
And that's like
twice.
a whole hour longer than Black Adam.
In my streaming app, the rankings, Black Panther, a crappy version is higher up than Black Adam. like good
Yeah.
for her. So yeah, just I don't know, a little disappointing. And we also got a couple two new posters from the Flash from CCXP. Those were pretty cool. I especially enjoyed the second one with him running from his old suit and his new suit,
Yeah.
and the new emblem to the Flash looked
Yeah, it
pretty
looks cool.
good. Cool.
I
So
did
yeah,
take a picture of that, but
those were interesting. Uh, Not much from CCXP. Joe, were you disappointed with what we got that came out of that?
I'm disappointed that we didn't get any trailers, but I'm I'm happy with what we got
Yeah,
because we had talked about something from the Flash, but I think we also talked about something from Shazam.
yeah, that's what I was
That
hoping to get a trailer from.
Yeah, we didn't get that, but we did get the Blue Beetle, so that that's a happy compromise.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. It could have been worse. It could have been nothing.
yeah, and James Gunn mentioned someone said like this. Someone replied to him on Twitter or Instagram and said like these movies don't concern you. I think he shared Blue Beetle poster and he said the DCU comes in after, and Gunn commented and said, "Well, that would be bad for the notes that I had to give for these films."
Plus, I
So
mean, yeah, these movies were made already in production before he came in. I understand what the commenter was trying to say of, oh yeah, you shouldn't be touching these, but at the same time, Gunn's coming in to this position. He wants this stuff to succeed. Yeah,
yeah,
his name may not be on it, but he wants to be able to make future films with these products. Like he wants these movies to do good so that he can keep building this company.
The, Joe, that's 100% right. The only film that was locked in the last little while was Shazam. But first of all, Peter Safran is a producer on that film. So first
So
and foremost,
you're in
he's
there.
going to and I know they started their job November 1st, and we saw the news 2 weeks prior to that. But this was definitely in place far earlier than we thought. So I
Oh yeah,
think he
when they
did
announced it.
give some notes on Shazam and the rest of the DC
Well,
films
and
as well.
I've even told us in the group that Gunn has given notes to the VFX people on the Flash. Not a lot, but some. So like,
That that is true.
right,
And on the game, that 15%, 20% can be really helpful. Like when you get the legs chopped out from under you with a big heavy hitter like that.
yeah.
45 days, I think, is the window for 90%, 95% of your box office. So that it all depends. I just think that their scheduling can be better for where they're placing their films. Okay, Joe, let's take our first ad break of the evening. Listeners, we're an ad supported network. We don't pick the ads or the volume. Going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Okay, Joe, we got some DC TV to discuss. And surprisingly, some pretty good episodes. Some
So yeah, we had two new episodes, and then I mean Smallville will be at the end,
But it
but
was our season
two,
finale of that
correct.
as well.
These two episodes we watched, and we'll talk about Titans first. This was good.
Yes,
Like
this was good. There's a couple things I
compared,
didn't understand, but
like there's I mean we'll
compared
get
to season 3,
like
this
yeah no
is
this is I don't know what they're doing, but they're finally. I hate that it took 4 seasons or 3.5 seasons, but they finally found their footing.
mhm.
Like,
Well, we don't wanna speak too much yet. We don't wanna
oh yeah, because we still
it's
have all
hard,
six
right?
more episodes to
I'm
for them to
nervous
fail us.
I'm nervous for them to, like, get my trust back. Like, it's still apprehension, but I'm enjoying these episodes. I'm shocked. Sometimes I'm going in like, "Oh, this is gonna suck," and then no, like Joe said, it was really enjoyable. There's a couple things that confused me, but for the most part, there's some conflicts, like, with, Dick and Connor.
Mhm.
Uh, we get Jinx of showing off that she's more than just money. Corey and Dick having back and forth as well. And obviously the really enjoyable Tim and oh my god,
Bernard.
Bernard. There you go. I've been enjoying that as well. They're back and banter
That's
back
been
and forth.
fun.
So, what
Uh,
do you think about this episode, Joe?
really good. I trying to think. Definitely, I mean, again, we only have 3 episodes. They're all of them were good though. Like everything we watched today was good.
Yeah.
The So yeah, Kyle there says I like all the stuff with Mother Mayhem and Brother Blood. Those were interesting
Yes, I really
because
enjoyed the whole
so
flashback element to that. So, like,
well, it also like it and it's not even she is manipulating him, but all she's like she's showing him the truth. She's showing him the past and making him relive his problems. Um and I've known people who are like one on the third memory who they broke up with somebody before they can break up with them. The
yeah,
person
that's just
with them,
showing
but
how insecure that person is.
yeah, the teacher being a complete asshole because Sebastian was definitely smarter than him. Oh, it's all about the fundamentals,
You
not
you could
shortcuts.
definitely
You
see
want
that
the shortcuts, you idiot! Like what?
and you could believe that happening too because the teacher
Yeah.
feeling
Oh yeah.
insecure about himself
100%.
basically goes back to insecurities for these. Uh, but the kid one was a little depressing, where he had to give away his stuff,
His
and
robe, the
the
Nintendo
what the,
SP
the way
Advance.
Mother Mayhem spoke about it was that he hurt that girl, and he's remembering it right. So
I don't know.
because she said that you were stronger than her, and you took like she
So
mentioned
yes,
that,
he
and you got
was.
punished for being stronger than her.
Yes. Yes. But because he was healthy and just being on his own, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays, definitely Kyle. Uh, but yeah, like she came in sick, she came in hurt, and that uh with the guardian, I don't know whether the heck they were, was like, okay, well, this room is better for her, so you need to give up everything that you have just for
Maybe
her.
maybe
Like,
not take in the extra kid if you don't have the extra bed. Maybe try and
I
find a different setup for the kid.
but no,
It
like everything that was shown there was awesome.
yeah, it was
I
really I really
I I
enjoyed that stuff.
I really like that Sebastian stuck to his guns. Like, no, I'm helping my friend. He even said, like, I only came with you to save my friends. Like
Yeah.
this is a brother blood I've never seen in comic book form or even TV form. And I like it. I like that he got to the point when the Titans came to rescue them, and we'll get to them in a moment. Um, like Raven is pleading with him to, come with us. Raven, the only one who's actually been nice to him, and he's like, I can't do that.
Call it.
Yeah, yeah, you did with Raven.
Yeah.
Uh,
Joe, I agree, like, especially she pleads with him, like, "Don't do it," and even, Tim does as well, and he looks so sincere when they're begging,
yeah,
and you can tell that the memories change him, and then just before the Titans get there, he brings out the 3 people that were she brings out the 3 people that were part of those memories, the girl that took his,
yeah,
gain, the
mhm.
teacher, and the, girl he broke up with, and they were
Oh,
all,
which is
followers of his now.
interesting, to be honest.
I could see her just going through that and using magic and bringing them like
Playing
that.
them puppet.
They might not even be there. Like, they could be different faces and just making him see like we got with Garfield in the, Flash, like in the
Which was
we
cool.
yeah, super
But
cool.
the last episode he got the red got mentioned,
Yes.
and the red is tied to the animal kingdom.
Mhm.
Whereas the green is tied to the plants, the rot is tied to death. Um, like the fact that they brought this up was really cool. Uh, and they even name dropped Animal Man and Vixen, which was really awesome. That was kind of fun to see. Um, and hey, we got another transformation. That's two this year.
Yes, we
Two.
full blown and a classic one, a one
Yeah.
we've seen so much, and I was so happy. I had such a smile on my face. I'm really interested because I think that's how they got away too, because of what was said to him about when the pillars crack, go to the red.
Yeah. Well, and
He
I
said,
didn't know if
"Remember
it
that,
was
remember that."
I didn't know if it was him sending everybody to the red or if it was Sebastian like doing his Black Widow scream, not Black Widow, Black Canary scream.
I think he
and
might. I
those
think. I think
transformers.
he
So
might have taken him because he was the first shot, and then I
yeah,
think he might have taken him into the red, and I think that's the way they'll survive and come back next season. That'll
all
be the
right.
first episode is trying to get out of the red.
Oh, okay. I can agree with you on that one. I like
Yeah.
that. All right, let's talk about Superboy.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Super
Mr.
douche.
Luther.
Super douche. I like to call him.
It's interesting that, and I've read enough comics to know that he's had a moment of, all right, well, am I Lex Luthor? Like,
Mhm.
and there's actually a really good story. I was gonna grab off my thing real quick. Where is it at? Found it.
Nice. That's some expert like paying like understanding your library there, Joe, to know that.
There we go. Teen Titans Outsiders, the Insiders. It's when
Okay.
Luther kind of, whatever program he had in his in Superboy that he put in there, triggered, and
Okay.
he kind of decimated Teen Titans at the time. But it was more of a, like, he had no control over it, and then Luther was just controlling, so he wasn't even talking. It was just a
Yeah.
straight, I'm gonna destroy
Like a
everything.
weapon, straight weapon. Yeah.
Exactly. This one, it seemed like after Gar did whatever he did to save him, something in him like switched the biometrics or biology of him went from being the good Superman genes to, I don't want to say evil, just the more cocky Lex Luthor genes, and we got that.
Now, could that have been the result of what happened to him last episode with the being like the snake, the
And
stabbing, the
Mother
magic?
Mayhem, yeah,
Yeah.
affecting him quite possibly.
So that's what I did like the little Superman the animated series now where he takes the mirror and super like heat visions his hair off. I did
Yeah,
enjoy that.
yeah, that I recall some comics doing that. I think even there was something. I mean, maybe it was, that's what I'm thinking.
I think
Um,
that's where I saw it first, but I didn't see like 70s and 80s Superman comics a lot, so
yeah,
it could have been done there first.
he in the comics it said that he takes a piece of his ship to do that,
Hmm.
uh, because he, in his eyes, a mirror would not actually be able to handle
Withstand
heat
his
vision.
yeah.
But there was plenty of comics, and again, the cartoon that did it with just a plain old mirror. So I'm still okay with it though.
Darius says, I love this episode, but I told y'all no brother blood suit. I got a feeling, like comics, he's still going to go after Rachel to be wife him, but because being sister and bro, he's going to struggle with it. That is a possibility,
And
definitely.
I wouldn't put it past him coming out of the pool and getting a suit. Just saying.
Going to be interesting because the Titans been nice to him as well, so it'd be a little tougher to carry out evil plans, especially with Raven team. That is definitely a
Mhm.
possibility.
Yes.
We'll see his level. We're going to get a suit from him immediately when he walks out of the blood pit. I
Yeah,
definitely think he's going to be wearing a suit then.
what's gonna happen is that there's gonna be a bunch of bats that come in, pull him out, and he's gonna be wearing a suit. Gar's gonna be in there somehow.
He's going to be wearing the bones. He's going to be wearing the bone suit that we
Dude,
saw.
I'm so looking forward to that.
So
Um,
I'm really excited to see how this transformation is going to change the character because he was so timid before. I'm really interested to see how evil and
he's the
Joe.
first couple episodes. I can see this, like episodes 7 and 8, him being just full on. I, I don't want to say evil. He, because I don't think he's going to go full evil. I think by the end of the season, he will sacrifice himself to save Raven.
That is a possibility if he meets Trigon. I think that's a possibility, but I think
So maybe
initially he's
try
going to
to-
be
yeah.
very. I think initially he's going to be very evil. I think you're going to see some destruction.
Okay,
Uh, that's
I give
what
it 2 episodes, and then by the third episode, he's going to start struggling.
that that's a possibility too.
Maybe fourth.
I think that's. I'm excited for it to come back. I gotta say, I did enjoy like the Dick and Corey stuff as well, with both of them having the same vision. So now that some of this has come true,
Yeah, yes, yeah. Which is, I totally forgot that he had the vision of the kid with the balloon. Like, oh yeah, no, that's straight up the same kid,
hmm
in both visions. So
Bernard also mentions I thought that Superman would come back and like tell like Luther douche to
sorry, I'm reading the comments.
yeah
Didn't
yeah
know about that one.
Yeah,
That
it was.
sucks. Um,
So he also says, "Wonder where Blood sent them Stargirl universe maybe, while Beast Boy was sent to the Red. I think they were all sent to the Red, Darius. I
yeah,
think
we
that's
were
where
talking about that just a little bit ago. I don't know
they
though. Again, I still think that it was because the way that Beast Boy like disappeared, he was glowing, and they all faded.
I it could
So I think it could be Brother Blood's like maybe it was Brother Blood saving them for one last time before he turned evil and sent them
that
somewhere.
could be what pushes Rachel to try and save him throughout
Yeah,
this back half of the
could
season.
be, could
I'm
be.
really interested to see that, Joe. Also, one
Go
other thing. What?
I'll say. I think you're about ready to say what I was gonna say. Go ahead.
What? Nope. Say it.
Oh, Jinx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was sad to see. Do you think she's dead? Right? She's
Oh
gone.
no, no. She even said, "Oh, not again." Like
Okay.
she's coming back.
Okay.
She's coming back. She's not dead.
That's good enough because I really started to enjoy this character. I think she might be more hesitant to help the team now after this
I
happening.
don't know. I
But
don't
she
know.
there was a moment where she was really enjoying the team, and it was such a cute episode, a cute shot
I
to see where
like I
she was
said,
supposed
I
to.
am really liking her character. Um,
And
the actress playing her has been awesome.
seeing her being part of a team is just nice to see. Only 6 episodes left may seem like a lot, but not much. They gotta get going to find each other and regroup. Do you have any thoughts on River uh, Jan return?
January return.
Oh, January return.
It's gonna be right after
Yeah,
uh
right after like
Doom
Doom
Patrol's done,
Patrol
right?
is going to do 6 episodes or 5 maybe, and then take a break. I think that's how it's going to go. Because Doom Patrol starts
Doom
December 3rd.
Patrol will
There's
be
10 episodes of Doom
yeah,
Patrol.
yeah, this week, December 8th.
Yeah, yeah,
So Doom Patrol is gonna do 5 weeks. Titans comes back for 6 weeks, and then Doom Patrol for the final 5.
5 again. I
So
think
in
that's how that's going to
theory,
go.
where's my calendar? Lost my
Second week in January, I think, or third, one of the two.
Hey, let me double check. If my math is correct, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If my math is correct, it should be January 12th is when Titans comes back.
Correct.
So
And Darius says yes, Joe, because she can revive herself in comics. I believe the actress spilled the
okay, I
beans
thought
of
so.
being a part two, so she better
Love
be
it.
anyway.
Thank
There
you,
we go.
Darius. She's
We're
awesome.
happy.
And I really like her character because
Same.
she showed up, and I'm like, okay, this is she's one of them. But and I don't know what I mean by them. Just like well, I actually know she like knew all about Dick and all about Bruce, and it's like, oh well, what the heck with the secret identity? But like every single episode, she's been fun. She's been having a good time, and the actress has been portraying the character as having a good time, and it comes across, which I think is why I'm enjoying this season. Like she's having fun, everybody's having fun. The story's actually somewhat good outside of them, killing Lex in episode 1, but it is what it is.
And part of me was worried that she might like betray the team at the end of this
Right.
episode, or even just bail on the team, and not like because I thought it was going to turn to a much bigger shit show than what it did.
But no,
So
she stepped up.
I really so enjoyed this episode, Joe. I'm excited for the back half. I'm not going to give it a recommendation to friends who are curious they're going to jump in yet until I see the back half of the season because it's been known to go off the rails. But right now, this is exceeding my wildest dreams going into this season.
Okay.
What about you? How
I'm
you?
liking it. I don't really recommend it to anybody because if you have to trudge through those first 3 seasons just to get to a good season,
Okay, yeah, only for the people that went through 3 seasons. There you
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. And Darius Al says Joseph Morgan's brother blood and Lisa Jinx MVP so far. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get,
Yes,
and
definitely.
I'm really excited to see,
You're doing great.
and I'm really excited to see Joseph Morgan basically play a completely different version of a character. So really excited to see him flex his acting
Yeah.
muscles there. Okay, Joe. I'm trying to think. Let's take another ad break before we get into Stargirl. Listeners, we're an ad-supported network. We don't pick the ads or the volume. Going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Okay, Joe, we have Stargirl's penultimate episode for season 3 and perhaps the series.
What do you mean perhaps? I mean, they've already announced it.
Who knows? Who knows?
Oh, who
With the
knows?
power of Netflix, power of Amazon. We'll talk about that a little bit later. We we could get
Okay, the possibility is always there. Yes.
yes, a la Lucifer. It could always be right, but we got to talk about Stargirl season 3, episode 12, the last will and testament of Sylvester Pendleton. Joe, what are your thoughts on this episode?
Wow. It was interesting. I didn't see some of it. I mean, I'm talking around it, but like you had mentioned very early on, and I agreed that something was up with Starman. I didn't know it was this extent, but
Mm-hmm.
I definitely agree with you that something was up with Starman. And for those who have watched it and are listening, Ultra Humanite is in Starman,
There you
and
go.
Professor
Dragon King.
Dragon King. Sorry, yes, I was reading a Superman stuff, and Ivo was in it. Metal Man was in it. Sorry, that's for a whole different podcast. Yeah, Dragon King is in Ultra Humanite's body. So, huh?
Yeah.
I still make the argument they should have dropped, even if they just dropped his name by like episode 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been better than just dropping, oh, here's Ultra Humanite 3 episodes ago. But this was a really interesting episode. Like, was it the best penultimate? No. Was it the best out of the 3 Stargirl seasons? Kinda.
Mm-hmm. I will agree with that. And Joe, I'm right there with you. I really enjoyed this episode. I was shocked at how good this episode was because of us being so skeptical where they waited too long to show us what was finally happening.
Yeah.
But I will agree with you as well. Maybe if they dropped a hint of Ultra Humanite a little bit before, or showed him as a member of the JSA in the picture in the background,
Yeah, something.
or
Like in the very
something,
beginning.
something, just to let us know. But with the Starman, I thought that Dragon King did experiments on him to control him. I didn't think that Dragon King literally took Ultra Humanite's brain and put it into
Starman's body.
Starman, and then Starman took Dragon King's brain and put it into Ultra Humanite, and that was wild to see those reveals. I thought that Stargirl series finale this week. It's kind of sad to see the series go, especially as after such
The
stuff.
show, I mean, yeah, the show has ups and downs, but it has been a good show every single
Yes.
season.
Yes, I will agree. Like second season loop, it lulled a little bit, and same thing with this season. But this is finishing strong. And Joe, I want to talk to you about Starman versus Stargirl and
That
the
was
showdown for the
man,
staff. That was so heartbreaking. It was.
because yeah, like I mean, Courtney has been proving herself since the beginning, like that she has earned the staff, and this whole season has been her. I'm not gonna say propping up Sylvester, but definitely like
Hero worshipping.
yeah,
Mhm.
and trying to get him to understand, a team effort because he hasn't been on a team in some time because he's been dead, air quotes
Mhm.
dead. Um, and then when it's like, okay, so she's holding the staff and Starman calls for it and it begrudgingly goes over. And when she tries to call for it back, he's like, no, that ain't happening. Like, oh, what? But going back and with the reveal, like it actually works. Like this is
Yes,
perfect.
it makes sense, and that's coming off of him basically having one of the biggest takedowns of Pat, which was
Yeah.
really sad to see. Just see Pat there, and then I love seeing her stand up for Pat. That was good emotional writing that I thought really hit well. For 3 seasons of how like Pat's been there for her,
Yeah.
so that was really good to see. Yeah, so she's without that, and he basically told Pat like that she's been trying to teach him, but he right from the start he's been trying to take down JSA. He positioned
Man,
Yolanda against Sydney. He told Beth to get rid of her parents so she wouldn't be in the game. He told Rick about the regulator, which screwed Rick up.
limiter. Yeah.
Regulator to his
Limiter. Sorry.
limiter. I thought it was regulator.
Nope, it was limiter because the limiter is limits
Yes.
the hours.
With
But it
that
was
same thing with
timer.
regulator, it would keep it like regulate the hours. So same
Either
kind of
way.
concept. I thought, yeah, yeah,
But yeah, no,
limit
you're right.
limiter.
Like he and again, we brought it up that it was weird that he was doing all this. Like he was
Hmm.
telling all of these people what's going on, um, and to then get the reveal of like, oh yeah, no, I've been systematically destroying the JSA from the inside out.
Yeah, he was like, everybody loves Starman,
Yeah,
so they're going to blindly just accept me.
he even told Mike, hey, go put yourself in danger.
And Joe, it also really one really nice thing it does as well. It ties back in those few scenes we saw in the second season of Starman visiting these places. Uh, it like visiting Pat's ex-girlfriend, stuff like that. So it ties all that back in. He was doing research for the character,
Yeah,
and that also makes sense because of what Ultra Humanite did of playing the actress as well. Like he can, it all really
they
worked
did
out.
a really good job. Again, having yes, he does.
Yes, he does. That's why I think he would be. Well, I think he would be a good. Like, there's a couple other heroes that I think he could possibly play. Uh,
Um, but no, like this just again, I'm sad that this is the final season, but the fact that the reveal for everything was dropped here, and now previous stuff, like you said, season two stuff, all the stuff throughout this season is making sense. I just, I, I still have the issue of I wish they would have dropped Ultra Humanite somewhere earlier at
mhm.
any point in the previous, episodes. But
You
still,
know,
regardless, this still has been wonderful.
I can totally see Solomon Grundy coming back for the final episode to help Rick
Well,
with
again, they
the
gotta
takedown of Ultra Humanite.
they gotta go all out.
Yeah,
Like,
with the Dragon King Ultra Humanite. So,
Stripes is out of commission right now because
well,
Starman's still
that's
not out of
this
commission.
we got to talk about that because honestly, with this series ending next episode, there is a possibility because if this was like when uh Oliver gets stabbed in season 3 of Arrow and falls off the cliff. Like this show is not going to stop with him, so he's going to come back. If there
Oh,
was
you're
a
talking about
season 4, if there was a season 4, wouldn't think this is. I think he would be safe, but there is a possibility
Yeah.
that Pat is dead. Like Starman buried him.
So my little argument with that is as slow as, and I don't really want to say argument. My really takeaway is as slow as Sylvester was shoveling the dirt on him. Pat could have like wiggled the dirt off and like gradually climbed up the dirt. It would have been taken forever, and it may not have
Yeah,
worked. But he
or he
could
may
have.
have got a shovel to the head if
That's
he
possible
tried that.
too. Um,
But
but no, like I was actually referring to yes, like Pat is in the ground right now, and who knows what could happen. But I was referring to the robot. Like Starman destroyed the robot, and because that is a big budget thing that they can't use because I don't think Zeke's going to get it fixed in time. Or Mike,
maybe the wish can fix it.
maybe, but this would give the opportunity to have Solomon Grundy come back.
Hmm.
Also, no, sorry, Rick was using like all of the places that no, that was Shadow that
Yeah.
gave him all the information. Okay, then take it back. Never mind. I thought he was
Well,
using information from Starman. If that was the case, like of course he's going to not find a good spot to give him back because Starman doesn't want him to come back.
so I'm really interested to see how this is going to play out here at the end. I don't know with Pat. Like I said, whereas this is a series finale next episode, he very well could be dead, and she'd have
Possible.
to forge on. I don't.
I don't
Like I said,
know. Yeah,
Joe could be right about. Don't think that whole thing reminded me of Step Brothers.
that's
All I could think was like, "You're waking the neighbors. Shut up."
good.
so that was, but yeah, it was an enjoyable episode. The dialogue between them was great, and I don't know what's going to pan out here, but like I did enjoy the when he was talking about the plan. I did enjoy the shot of Jordan, Ultra Humanite, and
The Starman
Starman.
showing up.
It, so did, yes, they did on the game, and while Seth Green
Yeah,
is
season
giving an
two.
okay performance, it's not nearly as good as Jim Gaffigan. It's not.
Yeah, they wait, no, I guess it was season 3 because he didn't show up till season 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, season 3.
So, yep,
Okay, Joe.
it's fine.
So we have a season finale. I'm really excited to see that.
Yeah.
who knows? We'll see what happens. I think Stargirl might get her staff back. Just throwing that out
What?
there.
Yeah, the
Shocking,
previews,
I know.
the previews I saw, it's all out fight. You know, it's
I
violent
will
fight.
say we did see just before he tries to bury Pat. We do see his staff powering up and fighting with him a little bit, and then he's like, "Power down, power down."
Yeah,
So yeah, I do think the staff is going to realize and come into play. So yeah, excited about that, Joe. We had some good DC TV. Let's move into the DC news roundup before we get our
yes,
Smallville
sure.
retro recap out of the way. So, while speaking to the Hollywood Reporter, the Batgirl directors uh, stated that there hasn't been a formal meeting with James Gunn since he's been installed at DC Studios head, but they have a meeting in the books that was teased. So uh, that's pretty cool. It's interesting. Maybe trying to mend fences here, would you say, or maybe offering them another project as well?
What's the possibility that they are making a newer? Well, I would say newer because that was something. Another Batgirl film, like they literally just have the whole entire cast come back, just with the new script. Like, do you think that's a possibility?
I think that is a possibility. I think the possibility of the movie getting put out is still available because
See, I don't think so because that was
it,
part of the deal. That
no,
movie
but
gets shelved. They can't take it.
that has
What's
not
that?
been written off yet. That gets written off in next quarters, or that gets written
Does it?
off for next quarter. Yes, because of the time. So that's the only reason I think that is even a possibility, especially with Brendan Fraser possibly winning like Best Actor. If that kind of stuff happens, there is a
Well, yeah,
chance. And I will say also though that I'm going to share my screen for a second for
yes.
people on YouTube that one of the directors shared this on social media, which was a Batman Beyond painting, and that would get my heart supremely happy if we ever get a Batman Beyond film. Especially with they already working with Keaton, you could use Keaton. This could be a completely separate universe. You could bring it in to your big grand plan. I would love something like that. So that's the first thing that I thought of. Maybe they're offered a different DC film.
I mean, I'm not going to say no to a Batman Beyond. We've been wanting
Same,
it forever, but
same.
um, I don't know.
Who knows? So, Joe, we have a new name for HBO Max, the HBO Max Warner
TV show.
Discovery
Dang it.
app. It's going to be called Max,
Yeah,
and this is via CNBC. Um, Brutal. That is a brutal name. Like that is
I, sure. Why not?
just think like
Oh,
there's more possibilities. Even if you jumbled the two names together, it would have been better than what we got. But like I said, there's so
But
many terrible
they
streaming
always,
service names that it's all about the content.
yeah. But like everybody already knows HBO Max is, HBO Max. Like you
Hmm.
say it on one go. Discovery Plus. Okay, cool, fine, whatever. Max. I
Yeah.
don't I don't get it. I don't see why, but I guess it's something.
On the game, however long on the game as how long did that creative meeting take? As long as it took food to get from order to when it arrived to the office. And then they probably chat it, and then they realize, oh, food's here. We need something. How about Max? Tear. It, just because
Giving it a
of
little too much credit, I think.
the it already being it doesn't do anything like it doesn't bring anything from the Discovery name, and it just chops off the HBO part of HBO Max. It just doesn't make any sense to me,
Well,
Joe, when I try and think about it.
Disco Max. There we go. Look, I fixed it.
There
I'm
you
calling
go.
it Disco Max from now on.
You better charge him. So we also have a new logo officially released for the Flash film uh, that was brought to us during the CCXP. Uh, it looks pretty similar to one that was released in 2021 at the start of filming. We have only in theaters June 23rd, which is not applicable anymore.
Yeah, right.
So,
Shocker. Weird.
but still, I
It does look cool though. I do
it
like it.
does. It pops. It pops, especially the F and the H still being
Yeah.
with like lightning. Good touch. I enjoy that more than what we had there before. That creative meeting took a bit longer than
Yeah,
the Max one.
I hope so.
Okay, Joe. We also have a little bit of a like out of left field. This came Warner Brothers Television Studios. The company is exploring its animated IP on different platforms, and is in the process of closing a big deal with Amazon featuring DC branded content. Uh, the person running the show said, "With animation, we used to be about staying in house, but now we're doing it on different platforms. HBO Max is the first stop. Now it's called Max." Uh, but we are in the process of closing a big deal with Amazon featuring DC branded content and animation. What do you think this means?
Um, we're gonna get content. I mean,
Hmm.
it's kind of dumb because you already have a platform for this. I guess it's nice because it's reaching to other places. Like, okay, cool, Amazon Prime. Like, I got that. Fine, whatever. But I don't outside of them trying to recoup some money somewhere. I don't see why this was even a thing.
I will chime in a little bit as to why this is instant cash flow for them with little to no expense, which has been a problem of theirs, which was
True.
talked about in the earnings call. So this is a way to mitigate expenses. Think about, for example, the Netflix deal they had with the CW for the shows. Uh, they made $1 billion just giving them the DC CW shows. So there
Yeah,
is
then Netflix. Yeah, Netflix had the rights to have
so
it
so it
until they
just
didn't.
and then it justified the costs of these. Justified like if you weren't doing great ratings on the network, it justified it with the money you were bringing in from the streaming. So
And
there
honestly, there's
are.
a lot of people who wait for streaming to watch it anyway. So
I think we
yeah,
found our home for Batman Cape Crusader first and foremost. Really think they'll throw in the new 52 movies on that service right away. Those are pretty
yeah,
big hits on
those
direct
were
to
good.
videos.
Those are really good.
So I think you can see some legacy ones. Nothing that you probably couldn't have seen on the DC Universe app when that was going, because you don't get as much animated in the
Yeah,
HBO Max section. So, yeah, I just I think it's a good thing financially because it just positions the company a bit better to invest some of its money and mitigate some of its expenses because it got a little bit of out of hand. Especially when you're just all you're doing when you're making it in house, you're trying to build up your streaming service with that, but those have a lot more costs that really are hard. You see it with Disney Plus right now
yeah.
and what they're putting into their shows, and now they're getting kind of readjusted. Maybe they're going to get more like one shots instead
Do
of
you
full
think
season.
we'll get Young Justice season 5?
Possibility that could,
Possible now?
especially when you throw over 4 seasons to them, you could definitely get a fifth season. Like
Well,
that's the
especially, I
stuff.
mean, we think of it this way: you had seasons 1 and 2 on TV, season
Hmm.
3 on
DCU.
DCU, season
Hmm.
4 on HBO Max.
Hmm.
Like, okay, cool. Let's throw season 5 on Amazon Prime. Why not? Because there's story there. There's a following there. There's already a fan base. We talked to Chris, like
And I,
he wants to do
I,
more.
And I don't even think that they can't be criticized about hopping from DCU to HBO Max because the DCU basically folded into HBO
Correct.
Max, so they weren't like unwanted by DCU and what
But the
like
whole
picked up
reason we
again.
got it on DCU was because Netflix had it and people demanded it. People watched it.
People watched the shit out of it. It
Oh,
was
watch it. I just put it on. I turned it on and just walked off.
well, yeah, but I was watching it like before there was even a campaign for another like
Yeah, same. Yeah.
watch it on Netflix. So like it was really so Joe, I didn't even think about that. That is definitely a possibility as well.
That's not to say, like, I mean, Teen Titans, the OG Teen Titans were supposed to come back, and yeah, we got them back in that Teen Titans versus Titans Go movie, but like, I'm still waiting for more Teen Titans animation. Maybe it'll show up on Amazon Prime. I,
On the game asks what worst case scenario, what happens if the Flash is both a critical and financial bomb? I don't like to like live in the expecting the worst camp. I'll just say that I don't think much will change with DCU. I think that James Gunn has a plan. I don't know how much has changed from the Flash since uh, James Gunn took on since when it was finished to when James Gunn took on. So I don't know how much that's going to play a factor in what he's doing going forward. I need to know his plan before I can say what is going to happen. That just might be the potential, like, another checkbox in the end of that DC run with those characters.
I think, unlike what we got with Man of Steel, BVS, and Justice League, where Man of Steel happens, it ripple effect to BVS, which then ripple effect to Suicide Squad, and so on and so forth. I don't think it's going to have as big of a ripple effect. I think I agree with you, Travis. I think it will be all right. Flash fails. Well,
we got Aquaman left, and that's it.
We got Aquaman. We got Shazam. Well, I guess Shazam would be out by then.
Yeah.
Then
so
Flash fails. We got Aquaman. All right, cool.
And
well,
Blue Beetle.
Yeah, we're already shifting priorities to other new characters anyway. So, does it suck? Sure, but this movie was supposed to be a new starting point, regardless.
Also, Joe, these movies were like approved and shot before this regime took over this company. So,
but this regime is definitely better than the.
Oh no, I'm just saying, like, if it's a failure,
do something.
If it's a failure, if it's a financial and critical failure, they're going to take it less on the nose than the previous regime who greenlit this stuff and had the hand in the writer and all that stuff. All that stuff was out of WBD's control. So I don't think, like, same thing with Black Adam. I don't think these, if they're a bomb box office wise, I don't think that hurts this company right now, because these are films that were already ready to go. They'd be a fool not to release these.
Honestly, what really upsets me, if this were to be a both financial and, with all the big bomb, would be the Sasha Kaye not being able to continue on with her Supergirl.
Yeah, agreed. I really want to see her flex her muscle as well.
Correct.
And finally, Joe, Shazam 2's runtime was revealed from One Take News, so take a grain of salt with this, but 2 hours.
They've been having some good things.
They've been having some wins, like they've been changing it around a little bit, but 2 hours and 10 minutes, which I'm definitely okay with that. I love the first Shazam film, and I can't wait for us to talk about this one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yes. Gotta make sure I, don't have to work next day.
Same. I gotta check it.
When does it come out again?
When does that come out?
Because
I have something on the 19th potentially of March. Shazam 2.
Okay, not May. Okay, cool. I'm fine.
It's in March.
Yeah, well, because I got a Comic-Con in May, and I couldn't remember when this was coming out. So if it's March, I'm fine. Because if it was during the weekend of the Comic-Con, I'm sorry, I got my tickets to that. So
I don't see the new release date. What's going on? That's okay. Oh, that's frustrating. But I don't think it says December, so that's not right.
What?
Yeah,
that's not right. March 24th. We'll say that. I'm just throwing something. I have no idea.
I would have loved if that was the case.
Well, because it would either be, my guess would be 10th, 17th, or 24th.
We have it here. Story of.
Where's Brent with his
big board of
movies releases?
March 17th.
Okay.
Oh my god, that's not great for
potentially 19th. That's a Sunday. You're fine.
It's not really. Kid being born.
Oh, are you gonna pull a Clay?
Potentially, I don't know. I kind of want to see this
early anyway.
That's what I mean.
I came like a full 2 weeks early.
We'll put a pin in that for future problems. But yeah, that's why it stuck out to me. But yeah, super excited for this film when it comes out.
You'll be podcasting directly from the delivery room. Man, that was such a great
movie. I love this film.
Get back inside. Stop.
Oh man. Okay, Joe.
Okay.
We have our season finale of Smallville, Tempest. This has been a fun little walk back on memory lane. I got to ask you, because we also have the Talkville podcast. They have a second part of this coming out in a few days.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Who do you think the guest is? Because I think it's John Glover. Because they said a very requested guest.
Yeah. Glover would make sense. So I'm trying to think who else they could have, I, unless they get Allison Mack, which I'm like that'd be interesting, but they've
That would
kind of
be
shied
interesting.
away from her
They
a
kind
lot.
of pushed away from Michael's Rosenbaum's made a few comments, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, Glover would make sense. And they've already said that they couldn't get a Netto tool till next season, probably.
Next season, yeah. So they're
Um,
doing another season. So we're going to pause the retro reviews until they get back into the. I don't know if they're taking any kind of break before
because
they
he
go
kept
into.
saying next year when
Yeah,
I was listening to the episode, so they might take a. I mean, and again, these episodes are already
but it's
pre-recorded.
December, so next year wouldn't be
Um,
too bad if just a couple weeks.
no, but if they were like my worry was they were gonna butt up and like, all right, cool. So here's the finale. Next week is season premiere of season two.
Yeah,
Like I kind of was hoping they would take a break.
yeah.
One because I feel like we had a big episodes because we would have two episodes talking about Titans and and
Hmm.
Stargirl. Then this, um, if they had a little bit of a break, our episodes are going to be a little shorter, which
Yeah,
fine. But that was going to be short anyway because this coming week is the final of Stargirl. So
and no Titans, but we got Doom Patrol back.
Doom Patrol, and we also have the premiere of the Flash coming, which you said you were going to watch, right?
Yeah, in the new year. So
I
that's not
think
that's well.
sure, but I think what we'll do for that is you'll watch it and you'll tell me, trying to
I'll
convince me to
give.
watch it because I ain't gonna watch it. I'm like
Oh
too.
yeah,
I'm
I
too
don't
freaking
even know if I'm
biased.
gonna watch it to be honest with you, Joe,
Okay,
because
okay,
of
let's go there.
well, we have 4 movies coming out this
Correct.
in
We
the
got
new
we got a lot of
year,
time.
and we have a lot of stuff coming up with
But
DC. So
Smallville,
Smallville,
Smallville.
I
I don't
really
know.
enjoyed this
John Glover
finale,
makes
but
sense.
there was because well, I enjoyed parts of it. The Whitney stuff made no sense to me because just such a quick turn to go from
Well,
finding some medals that your father there might have been a reason that your father never ever talked about his
we
time in
talked about
service because he might have been terrible.
Vietnam
So
War. They
yeah,
lost anyway.
so yeah,
Um,
don't go into that. So I thought that was really odd, and the whole him with
but
Lana thing, and him
I
asking
think
Clark to look out for her. Dude, you've been
that was
trying to
weird.
he's been trying to bang your girlfriend the entire year, and you're just like, look out for my girl, dude.
But I don't know if it was Ryan or if it was Tom that brought up the fact that this is 2002.
Hmm.
This is 6 months after 9/11.
Yeah,
So him going to the army or into the Marines,
definitely made
hey,
sense.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Him going to the Marines without before he graduates doesn't make sense.
and just abruptly leaving school out of nowhere. Like
Like, oh, I'm leaving on Saturday. That's not how that works, my dude.
I only know that only time I saw that work like that was in The Simpsons when he joined the army.
Well, it
So
also
yeah,
works in Futurama. Like
that's true as well.
they signed up and immediately they go to war.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different thing. Um, yeah, like that was weird. Him just, hey, I enlisted and I leave in a week. You leave in a week to go to war. You gotta go to basic training first, my dude.
Yeah, like
And even then you have to like test to see where you fit. I took the test for the army. It took like a week before I even got anything back.
yeah, like
It
don't
just
think it's that don't think it's as easy as
but
people make it seem to be.
but they also mentioned, I think, and somebody asked the question of what it getting John Glover on season 2 to be a recurring
Rosenbaum
or
had a
full
good
time
theory.
versus recurring, and Rosenbaum was like, "Yeah, I think they gave up Whitney to get Glover,"
He
which
said that was his theory. That was
yeah,
his theory, which that when you think about it and the budgets and our history with when you think about the history with CW, that makes perfect sense. And
well,
you
back then
can't
it was still WB. I don't
you
want to
you,
say like the first 2 seasons were WB, and then it swapped over to CW.
you
I could
can't
be
do the
wrong.
show
We'll
without
check it
him.
later. Yeah, no, yeah, John Glover definitely need to happen. Need to be
And
in.
the scenes with him and Lex here are fantastic.
Oh,
The
they were
first the
amazing, right?
first one where he shuts down the plant, and then when he's begging Lex for help at the end there, those were some
It was good
great scenes.
parallels. Yeah,
Some of the other favorites that I thought I really liked the whole greasy guy, Roger after the Kents
yeah.
and blowing up the truck and being down in the storm cellar and having Jonathan go after him. Like he knows the secret, and I love Jonathan being like, "I'm not going to let him tear this family apart." I'm like, "You go, Dad. You murder him with your bare
Sure,
hands."
but you go ahead and run out to the storm, which will tear you apart. I saw Man of Steel. It
Yeah,
happened.
you don't have very good history with storm.
But yeah, that was interesting. The Clark and Chloe scenes were cute. Really enjoyed those. Um, trying to think what else I have. I literally just watched it today.
Yeah, same here.
That's
And
really kind of it. Like, there's really not a whole
there's
lot.
the ending on a to be continued where she goes into the tornado and he goes after her. I
Again, okay, my biggest gripe on this, she is in the middle of fucking nowhere,
and
and
sees
she's
him.
crashed her truck, and there's a tornado literally right here, and here comes Clark out of nowhere. Clark, I need help. You're not going to question that? Like,
That's like his getaway from Chloe. You're a reporter. You're not going to question that. Like he
well, she
just
questioned it. Well, she does question it because she even said, "You're not going to do your disappearing act like you normally do because Lana is going to be single now and vulnerable, and you're just gonna leave me and third, the final quarter inning, whatever metaphors that I'm mixing up, and go rush over to the airport to her or bus stop, whatever." And he's like, "No, I'm gonna be here for you, whatever."
go to dance with you. That by default.
Yeah, and then oh look, there's a tornado coming. No one can leave. Oh, it's in the south. That's where the bus station's at. I'm sure she's fine. I'm gonna go call Clark. Clark,
I
really,
did.
really?
I did enjoy the running of him going there, but yeah, that whole thing was outrageous. That was frustrating to me. Uh, but overall, I still thought it was pretty
No, it's.
interesting
I mean,
finale with the whole Roger versus the Kents and the Clark and Lex with him as well, where he steals the key. Lex furious. I really like that, and Clark finding out, and he was bugging the whole place. That guy was grade A, smart villain.
oh yeah, no, he did. He did. He saw a story. He started to investigate it. Saw the pieces fall into place. Did some more experiments by blowing up a truck with Clark in it, and it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, my theories are correct. I'm gonna push this story. I'm gonna follow up on it. Yeah, he's a good because I don't remember what happens. I remember Jonathan getting him, but I don't remember
I
if the tornado gets him or if
I don't remember. All I know is that in these shows, whenever you find out the hero's secret early on in the first few seasons, there's not a good chance you're surviving the episode.
I'm
So,
pretty certain he dies, but I don't
yeah,
remember. I know Jonathan didn't do anything, but I feel like he gets like
I feel like
either
he's going to get
either
thrown in the storm and get stabbed through.
well, it's either that, either he gets caught up in the storm or something hits him.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
think
like
he's.
it might be the latter.
I think something hits him and he talks with Jonathan. Well, I feel like they get trapped somewhere and they have a discussion.
That's right. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I do. That's starting to come together now.
So, but yeah, really enjoyable episode, really enjoyable season, and I'm glad that we visit this, and we will be going back when they go back as well because
Yes,
I love the fact of revisiting the episode plus having the talk fill there as well with
their
the
insights
guests,
on it. Yep.
and it augments the episodes a little bit, especially hearing Tom Welling, who for a while was associated with like he hates this show and all that. To hear him even talk about like some of the intricacies behind the scenes was rather interesting to me because they learned some stuff like from that you
Oh yeah.
apply to the other shows.
Well, and I know he hated it. It sucks because he kind of got typecast, for this.
But also,
Like
it's
you
just
you
taxing
tried other
me.
things. Like that's the problem with these like something like this. You reached out. You went to try to do other things. I remember him in Cheaper by the Dozen. I
He was
remember him
good in
in The Fog.
it.
Like he tried. Like he did other stuff. Was it the best? No, but you learn from those experiences. Like you were saying, this was his role that kind of got him into stardom.
Since he's turned the corner on that and been at cons and promote like saying like basically showing the love to Smallville fans, he
Yeah,
was cast in Lucifer and had a good run in that show.
he's in the
And then he
Winchester
was
right now.
casted with Winchester's right now. So,
Yeah,
it just goes to show you, like, I'm just glad that because honestly, like with Rosenbaum, uh, Welling's a positive one. Welling's always given credit to the episode and the scenes and that. So it's just nice to see. I really like the back and forth. But Rosenbaum's not wrong and the stuff he calls. I just like seeing Tom trying to find like a
he finds the good in
positive.
it. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, really enjoyable podcast and really enjoyable first season, Joe. Any last thoughts before we close out tonight?
No, outside of the few episodes I didn't watch, when I wasn't obviously on here, I'm not gonna go
Yeah.
back and watch them because nope, already past that boat. I've been loving it. Like it's been one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm actually kind of excited to watch it, and I only watch it every other week. Like I don't binge it or anything. Like I
Yeah.
don't watch a couple episodes at a time. I watch one episode at a time for the show for us to talk about, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I've learned my lesson about going ahead of anything.
Well, and my whole thing is
you
because
you
the
forget too
nature,
for
the
you.
nature of our podcasts,
Mhm.
not just this one, but even with Animation Nation, with Walk Through the Multiverse, with Comic Book Rundown, my other one I do, I have too much to do. I can't watch 2 or 3 episodes now to talk about in for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna forget what I just watched, and I'll have to rewatch it again. So why
And go or I would blend or you would blend it into one episode,
do that
which
too much? I
yeah,
did that
so
already.
I feel you there. I'm 100% with you. I've really enjoyed this, and this has been an awesome week of DC TV that we got
It
to
really
talk
has.
about because it was really enjoyable, and I was very apprehensive going in. So I'm excited to see how Stargirl shakes out the series finale. Really excited to see Doom Patrol come back.
Yeah.
That is absolute backer shit show craziness, which I love.
Yep.
And Joe, we'll see Titans in the new year.
Yes, we will.
So, listeners, thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week with more DC Alliance. Later,
All
everyone.
right. Bye, y'all.